Welcome back to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to sublimate from start to finish. So if you guys are a beginner, this is going to be a beginner project for you. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to use your sublimation printer. Now today I'm using a Sawgrass SG500, but the really cool thing is the way that I'm going to show you how to print this, you can do the exact same thing with your Epson in a sense. So I'm going to show you how you can easily do this without any sort of softwares, just simply downloading the file and then printing it. So it's going to be without a whole bunch of edits or anything, simply download and print. So we're going to make it so easy that you can follow along. Now we're also going to be using the bigger heat press today, but you can also accomplish this with your Cricut Easy Press. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so now that we're over here on designbundles.net, this is the bundle that I'm using, and it's only $2.50 as we speak. So this is a super affordable bundle, 158 designs, and I'm talking about amazing designs. Now remember, with files like this, you could use these for stickers, you can use them for all sorts of projects, not just sublimation. But this is going to come with tons of stuff. So if you are just now getting into sublimation, I highly recommend that you check this bundle out. 158 designs for $2.50. If it's not on sale, it's $5. So you can't beat it. I have it linked down below. So just to show you guys a few, so we have stuff in here for Valentine's Day. Look at how cute these are. Like I said, these are amazing designs here. Love this one for breast cancer awareness. Cute ones. Love this pumpkin one right here. Super sweet. Scrolling down here, we have stuff for Halloween, 4th of July. Now, this is the one that I am going to be using today, but I just wanted to show you a few more that is included from teachers, autism awareness. I mean, the list just goes on. And this is the file that I'm actually using today. So I'm trying to decide between the USA or the lips, or even this heart right here. So I'm trying to decide between those. But once again, look at this, the murder mystery stuff, teacher stuff once again. I mean, and it's still going. Summer stuff. The list goes on. $2.50. Once again, we have it linked down below. All right, so what do you do from here? So what we're going to do is you're going to hit add to cart. From there, you're going to check out, and then you're just going to hit the download button. Once you have completely checked out and you are ready to download, you're actually going to be able to download these individual if you wanted to. So for example, you can download all of your Valentine's ones, 4th of July. It's going to let you pick on season. So for example, if it's the breast cancer awareness, so that way you don't have to download all of them at one time if you don't want to, and you can come re-download as many times as you want to. I have already downloaded the 4th of July file, so all you're simply going to do is pop up here at the top. Once you download, you're going to double click and it's going to open up like so. So from here, you can see here is those 4th of July files that I was talking about. Now, with something like these, I just need to print it. So I know that I am using a small t-shirt. I don't need to do a whole lot of sizing. I just need to simply print it and get ready to put it on a t-shirt. So what can we do here? Now, if I was using an Epson, for example, I would double click here. I would come up to File. I would come to Print, and then I would choose my printer. Now, if you need to size up at all, you can also do that here. You can go to Scale. And so, for example, I could say, okay, I want to scale up to 80. And so on and so forth. So you can adjust that there. If I need to scale back, I could go ahead and say 40. So if I was putting it on a toddler t-shirt and things like that. So you don't always have to have these excessive programs for something like this. It's just simply printing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel because I'm not using an Epson. Now, if you were using your Sawgrass, for example, I'm using the Sawgrass SG500. All right, so now for the Sawgrass, what I have here is the Sawgrass SG500. Now, once you have downloaded all of your softwares, for example, your Sawgrass Print Manager, what it's going to do is download this Sawgrass Smart Folder on your desktop. So if you've noticed that and you don't know what it is, what this is going to allow you to do is print directly going through your Sawgrass Print Manager, which controls your colors and all of that stuff. So all you simply have to do is grab your design that you're going to be using, drag and drop it into your Sawgrass Smart Folder. What this is going to do is open up Print Manager. So it's going to take it straight to this screen. Now, if you get this warning, one or more jobs does not fit, all you simply have to do is go over here to Jobs and you can adjust your size. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 8.5 5 here, and we're going to hit enter, and that way it's going to adjust it like so. So that's what's going to happen here. You can also go to Print Manager Performs Layout. You just want to make sure, see how we got that warning again? You want to unclick the Impose Margin, so that way it'll really help bring that back up here. So let me go ahead and go back over here to Jobs. It's went to 8.5, but I'm going to go ahead and put it at 8.4 just so I can show you really quickly. And there we have it. So it's popped back up, but now you can see it's saying 8.5 by 11 paper. So it's on here for us. So that's how you guys are going to use that Sawgrass Print Manager. Now I'm going to go ahead and come over here to materials so we can set everything. So I've already got it set at polyester. So say for example, if I was doing a coffee mug, I would want to go ahead and change it over to a ceramic mug from here. I've got it on polyester. I'm using the True Picks Classic, and then I'm going to go ahead and come over here to color and change it from photographic to vivid, as I really love the colors from the vivid. So what we're gonna do is go back to materials, and I'm gonna make sure that the mirror is on. So that's one thing I forgot to mention with the Epson. So I wanna show you guys that one more time. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this back down. Let's click on this design here, have it pop open for us. So what I would do from here is I would go up here. You can always go to help, and then you can go ahead and type out flip. So that way you can find it. So flip. See where it says flip horizontal? Now it's gonna tell us where that's at. So it's under the tools, and then we wanna go to flip horizontal right here, and that's gonna mirror that design for us. And then we would go to file and go to print. So that's how you would mirror something right there. So that way you don't have to go in any sort of programming. All right, so back over here to our print manager. So I think I want to use this design right here. So once you're ready to go, it's mirrored for us. Like I said, you're simply just going to go ahead and hit print. All right, so as you can see, we've got it all printed out here. It has it mirrored for us, and we are ready to go. Now, as you see in the Sawgrass Print Manager, I didn't have a lot of control to like rotate this. So if you wanted this even bigger than that, at that point, you're gonna wanna take it into a software. Now, if you were using Epson, you'd be able to rotate that. You've seen where we flipped it horizontal. You could also flip it diagonal. Plus, once we resized it, it can bring it across the opposite direction for you, if that makes sense. So you do have a lot more control with your Epson than you did with the Sawgrass Print Manager. But once again, at that point, you can take it into, say for example, Canva, Designscape, and all of those things to control, you know, rotating this and making it even bigger. But the t-shirt that I'm working with is a small today, and this is going to be a perfect size. So we've got this printed out. Now we are ready to go. The t-shirt that I am using today is a Cricut. This one, I really love being able to grab these locally, and I know that they are sublimation ready, if that makes sense. So you can purchase, for example, the Gildan Soft Style. Those are usually 50/50 or 65, what is that, 35. So you can definitely do those. You can bleach them and do all those fun things. Or if you really like that polyester feel, you can find some, you know, polyester t-shirts. I do like these. They're a little bit heavier, but they do feel like cotton. So that's one of my favorites. Now, with these ones here, these ones are really cool too because they have the little black arms. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. I believe you call these a raglan t-shirt. Now, when I use these t-shirts, I use the settings that Cricut recommends. So if you go to their heat guide or heat app, you can definitely find those. So for example, they recommend 385 for 40 seconds. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we are gonna go ahead and undo this here so you can see with that raglan. And I'm actually going to bring my camera back up here just so you guys can see. So this is what the raglan t-shirts look like. I really love them. They've got these little sleeves, and they'll kind of come right about here, just kind of depending on where you kind of scrunch them up. But I do love these, and I think it'll be a ton of fun for this t-shirt. They have all sorts of different sizes, but like I said, this is the one we are using today. So the next thing that you're gonna need as a beginner is your lint roller. So you definitely do not want to skip this step. You wanna make sure that you remove any sort of lint or debris, because if you don't, you're gonna get these little blue speckles. So definitely don't skip this step. You wanna go over this with your lint roller. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is pull out some moisture. So I'm gonna take this over to the heat press. All right, so I'm gonna be using my bigger heat press today. I'm just going to load this on here. And then we're gonna close it. I just need to press this for around 5 seconds or so just to remove any sort of moisture. All right, looks good. I'm gonna pop it back over. And we're gonna bring it back over here. So now that I have pulled out that moisture, we're gonna bring it back over here. And then once again, you really want to make sure that there is no lint. So if you want to roll over that one more time, you can definitely do so. We're going to let this cool down just a little bit before we start to apply our design. All right, so now that this has cooled down, we're gonna take our design here. Now for me, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off. I've got some paint splatters here on the outside, and this is centered perfectly in the paper for me. So I don't wanna cut off my little paint splatters, but I wanna cut it off low enough to where I can get it right here on the neck tag. So we're gonna come down around 3 fingers or so on our t-shirt. So I've got that there. And to find that center, you can simply just fold your paper in half as long as your design is centered, and then we're gonna have that mark there. So now I can follow my little tag here. So if you have a little tag like I do here, you can simply find your center by doing that. So I can come down around 3 fingers or so, which this has a little bit of splatter, so I may even come down just 2 fingers. So I'm gonna keep that kind of high there. The next thing that you're gonna need is some heat tape, and I am using the one from Cricut. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pop off a few pieces like this, and then we're just going to very carefully get these on here. Now, once again, you can use your Cricut Easy Press for this. So you would just have your Cricut Easy pad down, Easy Press pad down, and then you would use your Cricut Easy Press depending on the size that you need. So you can definitely accomplish this. Now, what I have here as well is a piece of parchment paper, or you can use what they call blowout paper. And all that is a piece of copy paper. Maybe it's a piece of actual butcher paper where it's like a paper fill, almost like construction paper, if you will. It's just something to protect between, just in case some ink comes off of here, and your heat press. So I'm going to carefully take this over to the heat press, load it, and then we're going to press it for that 385 for 40 seconds. All right, so I'm going to apply my parchment. All right, so I have closed it. We're pressing it for 385 for 40 seconds. So it's about to go off. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off, and we're going to do a big reveal. All right, we're down to 2 seconds here. We're gonna pop it open, swing it out of the way, remove our parchment. I'm gonna bring this guy over here really quickly so hopefully you guys can see, and I'm gonna remove that. So there you have it. How super cute is this? I love it so, so much. So you guys can see this is a perfect size. So this is almost 8.5 wide. So whenever it comes to making t-shirts, you don't want to be 10 15 inches wide here. 8.5 to 9.5 is usually pretty good. So an 8.5 by 11 wide is really good. So it was really easy to bring this over, whether you're using an Epson or a Sawgrass, to accomplish this. I love the colors. It is a ton of fun. And there it is once again. I love the raglan tee, and I do love the Cricut ones. Like I said, they feel more like cotton. I'm not a huge fan of polyester, so if you guys are just now getting into sublimation, as you guys could see, whether you guys are using Epson or Sawgrass, it is so easy to download our designs and just take them straight to the printer. So I don't want you guys to be scared to think that you have to have some sort of editing program to really adjust these. So you can definitely do that right there on the face of your computer with both printers and accomplish something just like this. Now, once again, as a beginner, what you really need is a piece of parchment paper, heat tape, and your lint roller. So don't go out there and initially buy all of these fancy tools. This stuff is going to be sufficient enough, as well as a heat press, even if you guys were going to use your Cricut or whatever brand that you guys may have. So there you guys have it. Now, I want to remind you guys, if you guys are not a part of our Facebook community group, I do highly encourage you guys to go check it out. That's where we have giveaways, we have freebies, and all sorts of fun stuff going on over there. We have lots of other crafters, so tons of inspiration, and you guys can share your project so we can check it out. Now, you can also use hashtag design bundles so we can see your project as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you guys did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.